Hello and welcome to a basic tutorial on how to set up an Emmy system in Applied Energistics 2. So I have everything laid out here and we'll go through everything one by one until we reach the end and then we'll set up the last thing. So the first thing we're going to want to look at is quartz grinding. Now quartz grinding, if you take a look over here, is called a quartz grindstone, and what this does is all it compress these quartz things into a little powder. As you can see, we craft it like so. So take out our stuff. We have to craft a wooden crank first, and this is what powers the machine. And then we're just going to go import this right here, wooden gear, and then quartz grindstone, like so. So we can place this down, and then also we're going to get our hand crank out and pop that on top. There we go. And now to actually use it, all we do is insert quartz in here, and we wait for this annoyingly long process. And soon enough, one powder should be produced here, and we're going to use this for a lot of other things. Moving on to the next one, we have Certus quartz and flux crystals. Now this provides the backbone of this mod. The majority of the things is powered by these. And in the world, you'll find two types of ores. So you have charged Certus quartz ore. It has a little glow to it and looks more shiny. And then we have regular Certus quartz ore. As you can see the differences. Now the charged one is used for more complex recipes, and the Certus quartz can be changed into charge, and we'll explain how over here. So right here, we're going to learn about flux crystals. Now, flux crystals look like this, and they're technically just a combination of charged Certus quartz, redstone, and nether quartz. So we take one, toss it in, toss that in, toss that in, and then soon enough, you see electric sparkles. We're going to grab two flux crystals, and we're going to use these a lot later on. And now for going to get charger, because you're probably wondering, how do we get from charged Certus quartz to a regular Certus quartz, as you can see? So the way we're going to do that is we're going to use a charger. Now if we take the charger over here, it just crafts 5 iron and 2 flux crystals. We can make it like so, pop it down, attach a wooden crank to it, and then all we do is put the Certus quartz in there and spin this around a bit. And soon enough, when the crank stops turning, we will get one charged Certus quartz. Now I know this sounds like a very lengthy process, and to be honest, it is. It takes a tremendous amount of time for you to granularly grind out all the charged Certus quartz you need. In fact, it now just finished, and I could say a lot of stuff in that time. So instead of doing that manually, you can try to vein mine or just look for some more charged Certus quartz. So you don't actually have to do this, because like I said, this takes a very long time. It's very annoying. Alright, so the next thing we're going to have is only one module here, and talk about cables. Now, cables just connect your Emmy system, because Applied Energistics 2 has a lot of other things, such as auto crafting and moving things somewhere, but we're only going to go over the Emmy system. Now, for these cables, if you look here, this is the most basic one. It's called Emmy glass cable flux. So we're going to take this, and we're going to need a quartz fiber and 2 flux crystals. So quartz fiber is created with 6 glass and 3 ground up Certus quartz dust or nether quartz dust. And get that from this grinder over there. Just take this, put it as so. And we're going to get a quartz fiber. Now, if you take the quartz fiber, we can put it like this, and we're going to get ME glass cables flux. So this is pretty useful. I can connect things. It looks pretty nice as well. Moving on. This is called the Inscriber. Now we're actually on to the actual part with the machines and stuff. Not like the grindstone or the charger. These further machines will be a lot more complicated. Anyways, the Inscriber is used to create printed presses, and these are important for those said complicated machines. Now, the Inscriber's up here, it just requires 5 iron, 1 flux crystal, and 2 sticky pistons. So we take it like so. Make it like that. Put 2 sticky pistons here, 1 flux crystal. We get an Inscriber. Now if we pop this down, I'm also going to take out this creative energy cell, because this needs power. And because I'm in creative, I will be using a creative energy cell. But if you're playing this standalone, you're going to have to use the energy source provided in this mod. But usually you'll be playing with other mods, and you'll be able to use the energy produced there. So just put this behind. This should now fill up with power. Even though this is not a representation of the power bar, when you actually put stuff in, it'll begin to work. And I'll show that to you later. Alright, the next thing we have here is the ME controller. Now this will be the backbone of your system. It will be the hub of all activities, and mostly everything can get routed into here. So around your world, you'll find these things called meteorites. Now, this is not a meteorite. This is just a shoddily put together skystone construction. And I'll put a picture of a meteorite on screen now. And all this is you find it in the world, and then you have to break into it. And it requires a pickaxe able to mine obsidian, so bring a diamond or above. And when you break into the middle of it, you'll find something called a skystone chest. When you open the skystone chest, you'll find some of these presses. Now, I'm pretty sure you will not find all 4 at once, so you'll probably have to find more than one. And you can do that by using a meteorite compass right here. And this will just point you towards it. The nearest meteorite is pretty easy to craft. So anyways, let's take all these 4 presses out because we will be using these a lot as well. And onto the Inscriber here again. So we're actually going to use this machine this time to make the Emmy controller, because as you can see in the middle, we need an engineering processor. So how do we make this? So we need a printed engineering circuit. So we're going to take an Inscriber engineer press and a diamond. So we grab a diamond, and I also have a creative energy cell underneath here powering this, by the way. So we're going to take our engineer press and our diamond, and as you can see, because of this power, it is slowly going, actually pretty fast, to be honest. And we have a printed engineer circuit. But now this is different from these engineer processors. So all you have to do is get some redstone and a printed silicon. Now silicon is pretty easy to make. You take ground up Certus quartz, or their quartz, and you smelt it. So instead of just showing that, I've skipped the smelting process and just pulled out the silicon. And what we're going to do is we're going to find a silicon press. We can add a silicon there. It's going to go up again. And once we have a printed silicon, we can just add this, this, and this. Let that go. And we have our engineering processor. Now moving on to the final stage, if you recall, we need 4 skystone, 4 flux crystals. And technically what we need here is skystone blocks. Now skystone blocks is just skystone right here and smelt it up. So we pull out some flux crystal. Okay, minor correction. We needed pure flux crystals instead of the regular flux crystals. And for anyone interested in how these are made, which this is also a pretty important part, it takes a very long time. What you have to do is make a flux seed made from flux dust and sand into a puddle of water. And then all you have to do is wait. This is the longest process, takes forever. Do not recommend doing it, but you're gonna have to. So once you have this, we can just go ahead and make our Emmy controller like so. Looks like that if you're interested, but this is in its powered off state. Alright, next we're going to go into the Emmy Drive, and this is going to be the storage housing, not for your actual items, but for the things that are going to store your items, also known as storage cells or storage drives. So the first thing we're going to need is 2 more engineering processors. So you have our Inscriber here, but I'm going to skip this step because I already showed you how to make it. And then once we're done that, we're going to go over here, and we're going to need 2 glass cables, which were made over there, and we're also going to need 4 iron. So if you pull that out, you can create an Emmy Drive. And this has 10 slots to store all your storage cells, and we'll get into that later. Now onto storage drives. Like I said previous, this will actually be the things that store your items. This is the lowest tier, 1K. It goes all the way up to 64K, even though the amount of resources needed for that one is tremendous. So to make this, we're going to start off by making a 1K Emmy storage component. And we need a logic processor for this. This is made similar to the way that an engineering processor is made, but it uses a gold ingot and a logic press instead. To pull out this, we find our logic press, we add our gold. Eventually this will spit out one logic one. And then we can pull out our silicon, redstone. We can make another silicon printed. Very nice. And then we can replace this with this. Add our redstone here. And this should give us our logic component. Very nice. Moving on right here to the rest of the materials, what we're going to do here is make 4 redstone and then 4 Certus quartz. So as you can see right here. And 1K Emmy storage component. Now this will do you no good because you're going to have to forget a storage housing or just this thing around it. So we're going to take out everything else I have here. Okay, we're going to make some quartz glass like so. And then what we're going to do is just craft that, and we have a 1K Emmy storage cell. Alright, we're almost done, almost in. Now we're going to make a crafting terminal, and this is going to how you're going to interact with the block. So crafting terminal over here, we're going to need 3 components. So let's start with the calculation processor. So you're going to need a pure surface quartz crystal and an Inscriber crystal press. And like I said before, the way you make these pure crystals is by dropping a seed into a pool of water and waiting forever. And we're going to take a silicon out, put in that, grab our redstone. As you can see, this actually has a pretty cool animation right here. Compresses actually. We're going to replace this with this, put in the redstone again, and now this is going to give us our calculation. Here we go. And now moving on to here, we're going to need a couple things. So the main thing is this ME terminal right here, and it's made by 4 components. So number 1 is a logic processor. I've already showed you how to make those. Number 2, we're going to need this bright illuminated panel, or this illuminated panel. It's made by 3 quartz glass, 2 glowstone, 1 redstone, and 1 iron. So it's made like so. I believe, yes, 3 illuminated panels. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make annihilation cores and formation cores. So annihilation core is made by a nether quartz, fluix dust, and a logic processor. So if we just put them in, we're going to get annihilation cores. And then the destruction core is made by fluix dust, logic processor, and a surface quartz crystal. There we go. And then the last thing we need is just a crafting table, and we can make an ME terminal, and then a ME crafting terminal. And this will just allow you to interact with the world. You can place it, and it kind of looks like hubcaps, to be honest, but this is just because it's not connected to a cable, so you can't actually see it. Alright, the last thing we have on the list is an energistics. Now this is an optional thing if you're just playing this mod standalone, but usually you won't, and you'll have some other power generators. So if you're going to want to link those up to this system, you're going to need an energistics for it to be turned into this energy that AE2 can use. Now energistics are crazily simple. There's 4 iron, 4 quartz glass, and 1 fluix crystal. Energistics. There we go. Now we have reached the end of the line. We have this one last thing, and we will be setting the entire thing up now. Putting it all together. These are all the components that we made, minus this creative energy cell, but this is just for the power. So let's take everything out. Okay, so we're going to start with the power source, being this energy cell, and then let's pretend this is a generator from another mod. So we're going to put our energistics right here, and this would take the energy in and convert it to AE2 energy. We're going to pop down our Emmy controller now, and as you can see, it lit up, meaning that it's active. Pop down our Emmy Drive. Now this can go in either way. You can either put it here, put it here, you can put it like on top, but I'm just going to put it here for simplicity's sake. And we're going to take this and we're going to fit it with this 1K Emmy storage cell. Of course, you can just add more as you please or as you make them. And then on top of this, we're going to add 1 Emmy glass cable, and then our Emmy crafting terminal on top. And now this is a functional ME system. You can dump as much stuff into here as you want, except for when this decides to fill up. You can take it out, you can craft stuff in here as well. So that's going to be the end of the tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed, and see you in the next one. Goodbye.